I'm going to go ahead and announce this will be my last video of me discussing Summer of Gaming 2022. Now, yesterday, Sunday, they did some stuff, which would have been day 4 for me, but I needed a break. So I'm going to be doing day 4 and day 5 today in this video. Like I said, this is going to be the last video that I do on the Summer of Gaming. I'm Auckland. If you enjoy my content, please hit the subscribe button, like button, also share with your friends if you don't mind. Also, please comment, ask me a question or a comment in general. I'll do my best to answer them. Also, if you don't mind, hit the notification bell down below and you will be notified when I go live or upload another video. And if you want to become a fan of me, Auckland, then subscribe to the channel and you will become a fan. I hope so. Now, I'm going to be covering 2 sessions today. I've been calling them sessions, so anywho. I'm going to be covering Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, which was all one showcase. Xbox and Bethesda together, which is day 4. And then for day 5, I'm going to be talking about the Gamescom Showcase 2022 as well. Now, of course, there was a PC gaming showcase. There was another Gorilla showcase. It was the Gorilla 3.5 showcase. There might have been something else as well, and I didn't want to cover all that. But let's get started now. It's time to get started. Alright, Xbox and Bethesda. Redfall. It's a horror shooter game, but it's like a silly shooter. They were cutting jokes as they were taking out vampires. Yes, it's vampires. Kind of interesting vampires, to be honest. And some of the characters that you can play as had like powers. So you can do these powers and they'll give you like some kind of hologram like thing would pop up underneath you and give you an extra boost so you could jump up to get to higher areas and places like that. So that was kind of interesting. It's coming out in 2023. Alright, next, a game that a lot of people have been waiting for, and we still haven't got a release date just yet. And that game is Hollow Knight Silk Song, the sequel to Hollow Knight, which is a hard side-scrolling game. I've heard some people saying that it is Demon Souls-like and Dark Souls-like. Maybe you can get a little bit of an idea of how the graphics are by the back of his case. Definitely check out some gameplay of this and even Silk Song as well. Like I said, there's still no release date just yet, but it was pretty cool that the game was showed off there, even if it was just gameplay. Alright, next is High on Life. I mean, it might as well be better to be high on life than to be high on anything else. Am I right? Or am I wrong? Let me know down in the comments. Alright, this game is going to release October 2022, so later this year. It is a shooter. I feel like this is in the same universe, just my opinion, of Rick and Morty, that crazy Adult Swim, I guess you can say it's not really an anime, but a cartoon. The voice actor, as far as I know from my knowledge, who plays as Rick, he's voicing one of the characters in this game. But here's the thing: it seems like his voice is coming out of a gun. You heard me correctly. In this game, you have weapons, guns, and stuff like that. And each of the guns have faces and eyes and mouths and everything, and they all talk and they all have their own personalities and everything. It was insane. It was so crazy. It was so much like Rick and Morty. If you've ever seen just a little bit of Rick and Morty, you know how nuts and crazy that show is. This game looks nuts and crazy. It really does. So if you are a fan of Rick and Morty, if you are a fan of a shooter that doesn't take itself very serious, if you don't mind being high on life, then this game is for you, because High on Life is the title of the game. So there you go. How about that? Alright. next, Forza Motorsports. You should have known that game was going to be there. They're making a brand new Forza Motorsport. They're making a brand new motorsports game, Forza Motorsports. This is not. This will technically be the 8th one in the series, but they're not calling it 8. So I think they're trying to reboot the franchise. That's what it seems like. The graphics are much better now. It's current gen for Xbox Series X. I'm about to say another console, but this is strictly for Xbox only. So I'm gonna try not to say the other console. So this game releases, if I hadn't already said already, spring 2023. It's your typical Forza racing game, but this one's looking really, really good. I tell you, the graphics, oh my goodness. I mean, it looks good. Go check out a trailer. If you're able to watch it in 4K, then watch it in 4K, or just watch this presentation of Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase. Go check it out. Next game is, of course, Forza Horizon 5. We're getting DLC for it, and from what I've heard, they've done something like this for the Forza Horizon games before in the past, but I didn't know about it. They're teaming up with Hot Wheels, and they're going to have Hot Wheel tracks in this game as DLC. It looked really cool. Oh, July 19th, 2022 for that. That was pretty cool. Alright, next is a horror game. Now, the creators of the game said that this is not technically a shooter, even though it's got shooter elements in it. The game looked really, really creepy. It kind of reminded me a little bit of The Matrix when it came to certain scenes in The Matrix. Like when they were focusing on the future, well, technically was the present. It looked alien-like. It's hard to explain. Just go watch it. The game is called Scorn. Very, very creepy. The creatures in that game, I don't know. People got some crazy minds thinking up those things. October 21st, 2022 for that game. Next is a game called Flicklock. It's going to be based upon Greek mythology, so you can have the Greek gods in it. You play as this girl character who wants to hunt down and kill the gods. Does it sound familiar? It sounds like God of War 3, don't it? It really does. But this is an action-adventure game just like that God of War game is, but you're going to be wielding a different kind of weapon than Kratos was wielding. This game releases in early 2023, and it looks really, really good. Next is The Last Case of Benedict Fox. It's a side-scroller, and it's a horror game, and it looks so good. Oh my goodness, check it out in 4K if you're able to. Oh, I'm just telling you, it looks really good. I'm a fan of side-scrollers, and I am a little bit of a fan of horror. Not an extreme horror fan, but I do like some horror. And this game is looking really good, especially some of the creatures that are in this game that follow you as you're side-scrolling through the game. Oh, it looks so good. Spring 2023. Can't wait. Next is a game I cannot pronounce. Naraka Blade Point. It's a samurai warrior game. It's action-adventure as well. You have your weapons, you're slicing them at your foes and stuff, and it looked like magic was coming off of the weapons as well, which was really, really cool. And the game is releasing June 23rd, 2022. Alright, next is a game we've had a preview for a very long time on Xbox. That's all it's ever been is a preview. It's the game called Grounded. I think it's a online game. Now, in my opinion, this is the Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the video game. What do I mean by that? I don't want to spoil that movie series, but I'll say just a little bit of it. These kids get shrunken down, and they end up in the backyard, and everything is huge to them. The grass, the bugs, everything is gigantic compared to those little kids. This is what that game is, in my opinion. It looks just like that. It looks really cool. Definitely may have to check it out. I'm not sure if it's online only or what. It might be. I don't know. But I still might have to check it out. It looks really cool. The full game is going to be released September 2022. Very excited about that, I'm telling you. Go check out Honey, That's Shrunk the Kids. I think they made like 3 or 4 movies. Go check them out. There's talks about the movie coming back on Disney Plus. I'll do a separate video on that at some point in time, but go check out those movies. Go check out this game. Next is a series I've never been wanting to play, but this one is looking interesting when it comes to the graphics and stuff and the way that it looks. It looks really, really good. Diablo 4, which is a dungeon crawler, set to be released in 2023. So that's next year. It's looking good. If you are a Diablo fan, please let me know down in the comments which of the games is your favorite. Are you looking forward to this 4th one? Next is, I don't know if you pronounce it Ravenlock without the C. Inlock, Ravenlock. I don't know. It kind of looks like the word Loki, but without the I at the end of the K. So it looks like Ravenlock, I guess. It releases in 2023. It reminds me a lot of Alice in Wonderland when it comes to the art style, the fantasy, the creatures, the world in general. It reminds me a lot like Alice in Wonderland. Is looking really good. It looks like an adventure game. It might be an RPG. I can't really tell. I'm normally not into RPGs, but this one looks like it might have to be played by me. Alright, next is a game called Cocoon. And it reminds me of a game called Hob, but sadly I don't have that. It reminds me of some other indie titles. Let me see if I can try to describe it the best I can. So like if the camera is looking down on top of you, and you're small, and you're playing as a character. So I'm trying to describe it the best I can. So that your character's very small, and the camera's like on top of you, and you're playing it like that. So it's an adventure game. Also, it's got some puzzle mechanics. It's like you're carrying around some kind of orb thing. I don't know if it's a cocoon that you're carrying around, possibly, hinting at the title of the game. I don't know, but I guess it looks like you can use that to solve puzzles and stuff like that. It's looking pretty good. I might have to get into that, maybe. Next is Wolong Fallen Destiny. Fallen Dynasty. It's released in early 2023. It's a samurai warrior game. It's looking really good when it comes to the graphics. Next, Hideo Kojima showed up on Xbox. What in the world? Normally he teams up with PlayStation, but right now he's teaming up with Xbox. And he was teasing us with a brand new game that apparently he's working on. So, really cool. Once we get to learn some stuff about that. That's really cool. Next is a game we've been waiting to see some gameplay on, or get some kind of update on. And that game is Starfield. Got some gameplay, and we got some update. And it's coming out in 2023. It's an open world set in space. Fallout-like, in my opinion. It also reminds me of Mass Effect, because you can do some shooting. You can see the character in third person sometimes, but not all the time, especially when he's like using a jetpack to fly around. You can actually see the character. Some point in times when you're shooting, you can see the character, but most of the time it's in first person when you're shooting. You explore the planets. You can customize and build your own spacecraft. You can drive it and everything, fly it in space, land on the planets. Anywhere you want to land on that planet, you can land there. Hundreds of planets to explore and land on. So it kind of reminds me, like some other people have said, it sounds like No Man's Sky, but it looks better than No Man's Sky. So let's hope so. Alright, now time for me to start Day 5 in Capcom Showcase 2022. And boy, was it good, in my opinion. Alright, first off is Exo Primal. I've talked about this game before. It's going to be releasing in 2023. It's got dinosaurs in it. It's a sci-fi shooter with robots. You're shooting at the robots. You're teaming up with the robots, possibly teaming up with them. You're definitely shooting at the dinosaurs for sure. It's a first person. I think it was third person, because you can see the characters and stuff. It's looking really, really good. Very excited about it. And there's some portals in the game as well. And it's looking really, really good. Check out some gameplay of it. Next, of course, if you know Capcom and what they're known for besides Street Fighter. Of course, Street Fighter was there. But I'm not a huge fan of Street Fighter. I'm sorry, but I'm not. These are my highlights, my games that I'm excited about. So, sorry if you're a Street Fighter fan. Alright, so the next stuff that they started talking about was, of course, Resident Evil. Resident Evil 8 is finally getting that DLC that was expected last June, as they even said at this showcase. Well, the DLC is finally coming. And Resident Evil 8 Village is known to be a first-person horror game. We'll get to that in a second. DLC Shadows of Rose. I don't know exactly who Rose is. I've heard that Rose is in the game as a child. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it. I did find out more about Rose, but I don't want to spoil it. It's a character that's within the game. It's a very important character. A character that is linked to the main character that you play as in the game, Ethan. And so the Shadows of Rose is going to be about her as an extra story that takes place after the plot story of Resident Evil 8 Village. So that's really cool. Get extra content after the main story. Then you got the Mercenaries additional orders. I think it has a connection to RE Verse. I think it might have a connection to that, or it might be its own separate thing. But it's Resident Evil 8 online. Mercenaries, you can play as I can't think of that woman's name, but in Resident Evil 8 there's a big old woman in the game. You know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of memes, a lot of jokes going on about her in the game. She's big in a lot of ways. That's all I'm going to say. You know who it is. You can play as her in the game. Mercenaries. You can play as what's his name? Chris Redfield, and there's some other characters you can play as in this Mercenaries online game as well. So that's pretty cool. Then next, Ethan as the main character returns in third-person mode. Here's that part that I was talking about. So now, with this DLC, you can replay through Resident Evil 8 Village in third person now. You can actually see Ethan. Awesome. I love it. Love it. Love it. Alright, so cool. So Resident Evil 8 Village Gold Edition is what it's going to be titled as, or retitled as, however you want to put it. You can get that, or you can also get the Winter's Expansion Pack, I guess is what you would call it. It includes the Ethan Returns third-person mode. It includes the Mercenaries mode, or however you want to say it. It also includes the Shadows of Rose. It includes all three of them. And also Reverse, Resident Evil Online. It includes all that stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. It's all releasing October 28th, 2022. PS4, PS5. I mentioned it now because it was at that showcase. Xbox Series X and S and PC as well for all of this content. Alright, now they showed off a little bit of Resident Evil 4 Remake, which we knew that was coming from one of my other videos that I've done. The game releases March 24th, 2023. We got a little bit of gameplay. They pretty much said that it's going to be the mainline story of Resident Evil 4. There's going to be some changes to the story, but not too much. The graphics have really, really changed. They look so much better now. If you're a fan of Resident Evil 4 and you loved the game, you're probably definitely going to love it now, looking better than ever before on current gen consoles. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Oh, it's going to be so good to play that game again. Next, they said, well, while you're waiting on the Resident Evil 8 DLC, you also got some other games that you can play while you're waiting. It's like, we already know about these ones already, so why are you showing these games off again for? Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil 7. There was a reason why they did this. PS5, Xbox Series X upgrades are coming free. As long as you own the games already, you can get the current gen versions upgrades for free. You heard me. Yes, you did. That's amazing. Oh, they're going to look so much better now in 4K, high frame rate, ray tracing, and 3D audio with the headset if that's what you want to do. And they're all out today. I had to go get my physical copies right quick. Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil 7. So you know what I'm going to be doing later on tonight. Trying to get these reinstalled on my PS5 and get those free updates. Oh, that'd be so cool. And to be honest, I have not completely beaten these games, to be honest. So it's going to be so good to try to play them again. Hopefully play them all the way through this time. And do it in 4K on the PS5. So excited about it. I enjoyed this presentation. Both Xbox, Bethesda, and Capcom. I've seen where people are already hating on them already. You can't satisfy everybody. There's people out there that are just going to find something to hate on all the time. Not me. It don't take much. I was excited, and I was happy about it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed me talking on all these videos about the Summer of Gaming 2022. I enjoyed it. Not all the days were good, but I still enjoyed it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. Alright, and if you want to watch all of these, I think it would be in my playlists under video game news and all that stuff. Okay, alright, bye.